The Alton Towers Resort is home to many beloved roller coasters such as the Smiler, Nemesis Reborn, Wickerman, and of course, Runaway Mine Train. But there is a lot of roller coasters that came before that, including a few that were planned but never built. Did you know that Wickerman was originally going to be in Forbidden Valley? Did you know that there were 2 different roller coaster plans before Nemesis? And also, you may not have known, but Oblivion was going to have an even shorter layout. I don't know how that's possible, but there we go. But there are those and even more, and I'm going to talk about all of them today. And I've even gone to the extent of making a few in a simulation to sort of show you how stupid and weird these plans would have been. So if you do go on to enjoy this video and you want to see more in the future, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. 70,000 subscribers is fast approaching, and that is amazing to even say. Thank you so much for the support. So if you do want to help towards that goal, it would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe. Thank you. So then, what roller coasters were planned but never built at the Alton Towers Resort and no longer Spa? I'm still seething that they got rid of the Spa. Well, first of all, I'm going to go through some of the obvious ones that everyone and their nan seems to know about, and then I'll take you through on some of the lesser known ones that may be a bit more interesting, so be sure to watch to the end to see them all. To begin with, of course, the classic planned but never built rides, SW1 and SW2. And if you don't know what SW means in those 2 names, secret weapon. It's a code name. Because for some reason, Alton Towers used to title their new rides as Secret Weapon 7, for instance, that was the Smiler. Secret Weapon 5 was Air. Rita never got a secret weapon because it's not good enough. Thank you. And if we go back to the first ever Secret Weapon roller coaster, it was actually Nemesis, which was Secret Weapon 3, because there were actually 2 roller coasters planned before Nemesis on that site. And both of these coasters were Aerodynamics pipeline coasters, and they were in the same site as Nemesis, as I said. And God, when you look at some of the Aero coasters now and how rough they can be, I'm so glad they went with Nemesis instead. Sorry, Aero fans, but thank you, John Wardley. But these 2 rides were set to flip upside down, go into drops underground, and, you know, just have a nice roller coaster layout. But after riding it, the designer John Wardley did decide that they were too not thrilling. They weren't thrilling enough. So that's why we got this beast instead. Alton Towers could have been a completely different place had these Aero pipeline coasters happen. There are a few of them around the world. Nope, no there's not. But yeah, if those were built, would we have seen a monster in the middle like we did for Nemesis? And instead of an eye, it's just a massive pipe. I guess we'll never know. Either way, another coaster at the park that's not actually there at the minute would have been something else. You've probably heard of it before, the corkscrew. Not the 2 corkscrews at the front entrance. No, it wasn't going right at the front turnstiles. Corkscrew was in Ugland, pretty much next to Rita, or exactly where 13 is right now. And here, there was a massive Schwarzkopf roller coaster planned that was going to have 3 lift hills, multiple drops and turns in the trees. And I'm not going to lie, the model does look really cool. I don't think it was supposed to invert. It was going to be more like Liseberg-Banan, which is at Liseberg in Sweden, and I have done that coaster, and it is definitely an underrated ride. And I genuinely would have loved to have seen that. But as with all of these coasters on here, it never got built. And this time it was apparently because the manufacturer was about to go bankrupt. And why on earth would you get a coaster from a company that's about to not exist? So that plan was axed entirely. But guess what wasn't axed? For the most part, Oblivion, the beloved vertical drop roller coaster in X Sector, and that was actually planned to have an even shorter layout. I don't think you can get much shorter than a lift hill, turn, drop, and then another turn, but apparently you can. Pretty much the idea was that the ride would do the exact same as it does now, so come out of the station, go up the lift hill, and instead of going around a 90-degree turn or whatever degree that is, you would literally go straight into the vertical drop, and you would drop into a tunnel like you do in real life. But it would then go into a taller bank turn round and go into a splashdown. Now I can't lie to you, it wouldn't really suit X Sector's theme, but that would be epic. You then hop into the brakes from there, and yeah, basically it's got 1 less turn at the top of the lift hill than Oblivion does. Next thing you know, we'll find a previous layout that doesn't even have the drop. And this is one of those ones where I thought, let me try and simulate this, because I imagine it would look really stupid. And oh my god, it does. Just look at this, what the hell is happening? And yeah, as you can see, it goes up that lift hill, and then it's shortly followed by a very short piece of straight track into the hole break for the drop. And then here we go, we plummet down into the big hole. And then we come out the other side, a lot taller this time, this overbank. and a lot slower. What have I done? And then we go into the splashdown. There we go. Behind us, there would have been a trail, and then into the breaks. I actually do want to see what that looked like. Hang on. Yeah, so here's the splashdown, and here we go. That was barely a splashdown. Now, it is said that B&M just put this up as a patent for the first ever dive coaster, but I mean, considering Oblivion was the first ever dive coaster and they sort of interlink, it could have been that, so I'm going to take it. If I'm wrong, deal with it. And something else we had to deal with for a very long time at Alton Towers was the lack of a wooden roller coaster. Obviously now we have the Wickerman, so we got lucky with that one. But for years and years, everyone had wanted a woodie at Alton Towers, but they weren't building one. John, why didn't you build one? It was purely just logistics and stuff. They said they were going to build a Wallace and Gromit wooden roller coaster near Katanga Canyon. I really wish that happened. But eventually in 2005, there was a roller coaster, a wooden one, planned for the park. And this would be a huge investment because it wouldn't just be a 60-foot tall drop and, oh, it goes round a corner, oh, you know, it's just in one little area. This was the complete opposite. This ride would have drops of 200 feet tall and would even be a record holder at the time for some of the biggest wooden roller coaster drops in the world. And you may be thinking, how the hell have they managed to get 200-foot drops when they can only build below the tree line? They built it cross valley. Yeah, so you know when you go on the sky ride through the sort of gardens and it's like a massive valley beneath you? They wanted to build it from Dark Forest to Forbidden Valley in that valley. Absolutely crazy idea. And here, Lad Venture has actually recreated those plans. And I'm going to react to this rather than my one, because I know if I built this, it would look awful. And this actually looks good, so check this out in the description below. But as you can see, the start of the ride actually does go up a lift hill, and it goes through some of those drops, like very small drops. And then eventually you get to the massive drop here, and almost hitting a tree, and you just go all the way down into that valley, and then you sort of turn around up there and come back, I guess. It just looks like it would have been mental, so I'm kind of sad they didn't build this one. But this next one, I'm actually kind of not sad, because they did build it, but in a different place and very different to what they originally planned. Back in 2018, we saw the opening of the Wickerman roller coaster. That happened, obviously. But there was actually a plan to have Wickerman or another wooden roller coaster of that sort of style over in Forbidden Valley. What the hell? You can see on these plans, in the very distance of the ride, you can see Subterra, you can see sort of the area outside Blade, heat generator now. And the station for the ride did sit where Blade is currently, so we would have lost that ride. Oh, what a shame. But it would span out to where Subterra's extended queue line is right now. And fun fact as well, before Wickerman was built, they were considering another wooden roller coaster manufacturer, Gravity Group, not Great Coasters International. Come to think of it, the name Great Coasters International implies that they think their roller coasters are great. How big-headed can you get? But you can see from the top view, this layout looked a lot worse in my opinion. Very flat, not very airtimey, and more turny. Here's my interpretation. From what we can see on the plans and what I've done here, probably quite badly, is a first flat turn as it makes its way towards the lift hill. And here we go, I sped up the lift hill a little bit, but I'm sure it would have this much speed going down. It goes down a little curve into a twisted drop, and then it sort of banks to the right. It just looks a bit forceless. Airtime hill, very slow, so I don't know if that'd have a lot of speed, but it might do. Another turn. Yeah, you know what I mean? It just, some of these elements just don't look that fun. Another airtime hill. Another banked airtime hill. Wow. Turn. Oh, we're very banked. And into the brake run. Yeah, probably not what you would have wanted at Alton Towers. That bloke Big Bob that we got instead, so much better. And of course, on top of this, there are a few more that didn't get built, and I'm sure if you looked in the catalogues of all the plans that Towers have somewhere, then please show me every single plan they had, and they have. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you have a wonderful day.